Three, two, one. And we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News on channel Be Fabulous You, where I share with you headlines from my news feed. And also, we might kick it about thoughts, ideas, perspectives on the headlines, on the article, on the subject matter at large. But it's not news, it's just my notes on the news. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Welcome in the chat. Thank you for liking. Hey, Rottweiler. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when I go live, because you never know when I might go live, because I don't know when I might go live. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Be fabulous. Let's just throw that in now. We might as well start the vibration going. So what's new and good? What's new and good? Anything exciting going on in your personal life, in the life of your family, in your community, or the world? You got any good news to share? Share the good news. What's the good news? Habarigani. That's how you say what's the news in Swahili, I think. I don't know. I think that's what it means, but they use it during Kwanzaa. So we usually kick it off with an exploration of a Kwanzaa principle. This is day 3 of our exploration of Ujamaa. Nothing I can think of. Right. You see that? This is our, I think, 3rd day of our exploration of Ujamaa, which is cooperative economics. I discovered just here recently that this site I've been using has a, has an essay written. So we've been doing for this one paragraph by paragraph. So this puts us on paragraph 3. Again, the principle is Ujamaa cooperative economics, to build our own businesses, control. Hey, I see. Thank you for the flower. Control the economics of our own community and share in all its work and wealth. Work and wealth, share in the work and the wealth. Cooperative economics. Okay. So we're on paragraph 3. Did we read this one? Let's read it again. Okay. Thus, President Nyeri states Ujamaa rejects the idea of wealth for wealth's sake as opposed to well-being for all. So it's not just wealth for wealth's sake, it's wealth for the well-being of all. It's wealth for all of us. It's abundance so that we're all celebrating and enjoying it and benefiting from it. Not just to have it. If you just have it to have it, what you got it for? What's it for? What is it for? What's the money for? What's the wealth for? What are the resources for? What's the energy for? It's for the people. Okay. And he notes that Ujamaa is a commitment to the belief that there are more important things in life than the amassing of riches. And if the pursuit of wealth clashes with things like human dignity and social equality, then the latter will be given priority. If the amassing of wealth clashes, the amassing of riches, if that clashes, it gets in the way of things like human dignity and social equality, then the latter will be given priority. The most important things are things like social equality and things like human dignity. That's way more important than money, riches, wealth. In the context of improving and ensuring the well-being of the people, the creation of wealth is a good thing and something we shall have to increase. But he concludes that it will cease to be good the moment wealth ceases to serve humans and begins to be served by humans. So is your money working for you, or are you working for your money? Is your wealth working for you, or are you working for your wealth? Who's benefiting? Who's in charge? Is it you or the money? I mean, I'm just asking. That's what I think they're asking. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's see what the Buddha had to say today. This segment that we call, yo, what up though, Buddha? Let's see if there's any edification over here. Let us check. Let us see. Let's investigate. With desire, the world is tied down. With the subduing of desire is freed. With the abandoning of desire, all bonds are cut through. So when you attach to stuff, when you desiring stuff, you tied down, you locked up, you in trouble. But when you let that stuff go, you free, and all the bonds are cut, and you can just be free to operate and be you, be fabulous you. Just enjoy it, relax, enjoy it. All right, that's pretty good, Buddha. We'll take it. We'll take that. All right, let us see what's on the news feed. Habaragani, Ujama, collective wealth. Collective wealth? Is the collective wealth and responsibility? What's Ujama? Ujama. Ugh, ugh. Oh no, cooperative economics. Ujima, cooperative economics. Sabaragani, Ujima, cooperative economics. We all benefit from this together. All right, let's see what's on the news feed. It's been a few hours since I've been in here, so if something happened in the world in the last couple hours, I wouldn't know because I was all on a whole nother assignment. Study: Black consumers are paying an average of $20 more just to open a checking account. The Black tax. It's not really like a shock. It is a study, so I guess it's like maybe it's official, but it's almost sort of kind of like in some circles, I guess, common knowledge that there's a Black tax, just like there's like a woman tax, just like there's a poor tax. It's expensive to be poor. You better get the O and the R if you can. But yeah, there's all kinds of, so yeah, there's been a study that's confirmed that in the case of opening a checking account, Black folks are paying an average of $20 more. That's coming off of Atlanta Black Star in case you want to read it. Jeanette, Jeanette Epps would have been the first Black astronaut to live on the space station, but NASA bumped her, and she says they never told her why. Now, this happened in January. We reported it at that time. We talked about it a little bit. Maybe a month or a couple weeks later, her brother came out and said that it was due to race. She's saying that she was never told why. There doesn't really seem to be an update on the story. Right, I know. Taxed 3 times. I would tax that behind. Yeah. And it's probably some other taxes that you ain't even conscious of. They not official taxes either. You don't even know you being taxed. You don't know what the tax rate is. It's just more expensive. So I just wanted to, I'm glad that they actually, I don't want to say did the story because I didn't really look at the story, but it was nice to see the headlines because I remember when that happened. And to me, it just felt like, I guess Trump don't want no Black person, woman, I don't know. He don't want to be, that's just how I took it, So anyway, I don't know if the story is, if there's some new information, but it's looping back around, it's cycling back around this conversation. A look at how much tech jobs pay in South Africa. They're looking for tech people in South Africa. So if you're thinking about relocating and, maybe have some technical skills, maybe South Africa is a place to think about. I guess from what I've heard of all of the places on the continent of Alkebulan, it's one of the more like westernized, or like, it has like a lot of infrastructure. So it's not as much of a shock to your system as maybe moving to some other places might be. That's just what I've heard. But, yeah. That's what they're saying on Moguldom. So you can check that out and do some research. Peace, love, like the sun. The co-founder of Coffee Meets Bagel says there's a big difference between how men and women date online. It was basically saying that men like to have a whole bunch of choices and women like to have things more curated. So this particular site is catering to men and women in different ways. Like, giving men, at noon, they get 800 women to look at, and at noon the women get, these are 5 prime candidates that we've selected just for you, milady. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, it makes sense. People, men and women, I believe are different. I mean, not like in general. So yeah, that was interesting. Trump calls for deportations without judicial process. Now, it's really interesting watching stuff on the news because they always seem shocked, or a lot of times they seem shocked and confused and surprised by what's going on. Like, he's not telling the truth, or he just pulled these figures out of his behind. Like, where are they coming from? What is he doing? I'm like, hasn't he always been like kind of against? Hasn't he always been like, just do what I said to do because I said to do it? I don't care nothing about the law. I don't care nothing about no judges. Just do what I just do what I said to do. It sounds about like, right, men do like a lot of choice options. Yeah, I think it's interesting, you know. Um, so I'm like, him calling for deportations without judicial process, that seems like you said that about that, but it seemed about right. It's the way he moves. It's no shocker surprise, is it? It's no shocker surprise. It's just the same stuff, a different day. Trump's former deputy campaign manager told a black panelist on Fox and Friends that he was out of his cotton picking mind. Now, I'm not accustomed to being offended when people say something about cotton picking. I don't hear it that often, but when I thought about it, it's like I don't think I've ever heard a white person say anything about your cotton picking mind, you know? So I was kind of like, it seems like, did this white person like go out of their way? Like, where did they even encounter the expression cotton picking? Have you ever heard white people say cotton pick, you out of your cotton picking mind? So I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it. I guess I kind of felt like they went out of their way, and it feels like there's this vibration of like trying to like keep pushing the limits and pushing the limits and pushing the limits, and like just pushing, you know, um into for some people what they consider to be the good old days, you know. So it seemed kind of like in that, yeah, he said you're cotton picking mine. And people are really offended. There was one guy I saw on the news, and he's like, nope, just older black folk. He's like, I'm from Alabama, and I don't want. And I'm like, you've only heard older black people say it. I mean, I've heard people say it just, here or there. But the people were upset. So what do you think? How do you feel? Is that are you offended? I mean, I think I'm offended at the concept, like where he get it from. That's a Southern saying. We used to say it around the house when I was young. I'm like, where did he get it from? When I was down south of Mississippi, I never noticed any white people saying it, and it seems like the type of thing that I would notice. Maybe I just didn't notice. Maybe the white folks were saying it too. But I'm kind of like offended at the idea that they like are out there, going out of their way using our. But anyway, yeah, that's what had happened on Fox and Friends. In case you were checking, I know you missed yesterday's episode of Fox and Friends. I just brought you up to date. Housing affordability in America is at its worst in nearly a decade, and there's one clear culprit. Dang. I'm about to get in trouble with my schedule. Cotton picking mine, chicken choker. I've never heard of chicken choking, duck plucking, and many more sayings. I haven't really heard any of those, but I have certainly heard you out of your cotton picking mind. Get your cotton picking behind out of here. And there's one clear culprit. I don't know what the clear culprit is. I assume that the clear culprit is that the rich are, getting richer, and they're doing everything they can to funnel wealth in all different kinds of ways, any wealth sources from poor people back into their pockets, back into their coffers, back into their hoard. That's what I assume. But I don't know what the story is saying. Turkey election. Erdogan claims victory with unofficial results. So he been in office 15, 16 years, I think I heard the other day. Some people consider him to be like a dictator type, or like somebody who has stolen power. So he's saying he won. He got the unofficial results. That's good enough for me. I won. What you gonna do? Who gonna check me, boo? Who gonna check me? Dizzy Gillespie, African American jazz trumpeter extraordinaire. I wonder if it's his birthday or something. Why are they talking about Dizzy Gillespie? Just talking about him. Mhm. Was he the one that did that when he played the two? Bella in the house. She had company when I was coming downstairs. Some people were coming in the house. Although the door is open, so she might come out, but she usually don't come out unless she not just gonna come out to be locked outside. So she probably ain't gonna come out if she don't think it's gonna be a way for her to get in, or if I'm gonna know she's outside to let her in. So even though the door is wide open and the flies are coming in freely, oh, it's closed now. But she probably won't come in. Looks like we can start at 9. Woman humiliated by Walgreens over drugs to end. That's right. Who gonna check me, boo? I don't know why I love that so much. Woman humiliated by Walgreens over drugs to end pregnancy. So she's pregnant. She go to her doctor. Her doctor is like, look, the baby, the way the baby is developing, it's gonna be a miscarriage that's gonna be coming. So you want us to do a surgical procedure? You want drugs? What you want to do? That's really sad, first of all. So just take a moment for that. So anyway, the woman is like, I want drugs, so he or she, her doctor gives her a prescription for a drug to cause her to miscarry. She goes to the pharmacist, to the pharmacy, and I think she has like one or two of her children with her, like 7 or younger. I think she has 2 children with her, but I can't remember. But she goes to the pharmacy to get the prescription filled, and the pharmacist is basically like, I can't fulfill this prescription. I'm not, my spiritual beliefs or whatever do not allow me to participate in any abortion. So no, I'm not, filling this, and whatever. The woman felt that he was really dry, or she was really dry. The pharmacist was really dry, mean, and cruel. She was trying to explain the situation to the pharmacist, like, I'm not just, which I almost feel like, is it the pharmacist's business? But like, I'm not just getting an abortion because, but this is what's going on, and I'm already mourning, and the person was just really, really, according to her, it was just really traumatic and traumatizing, and her children or child were there, and she was getting upset. And when you have little ones, it's kind of like you try to balance everything out. You don't want them to see you freaking out or getting too upset, because then they, you don't want them to be worried or concerned. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It might be like some variation of the morning after pill. I'm not familiar with it. So that's what happened with her. She felt that she was humiliated, and I don't know if she's like in a lawsuit or like what's going on. Plan B is similar to Plan B. Um, Yeah. So that's, the person, I think that Walgreens, the way that their system is set up, the pharmacist is not obligated to, administer any drugs, or, that conflict with their belief system. I think that's what the article said. Zimbabwe election to go ahead as planned after blast. So yesterday I started seeing some things in terms of, there was some bomb or some explosion that happened. The president of Zimbabwe was relatively close to it, but wasn't harmed. And I don't know if it's connected to the election or not. I don't think that the other headlines mentioned anything about the election, but this one says that the Zimbabwe election will go ahead as planned. So I don't know if it was like an attack on these. I don't know if it was an attack on. I don't know if your doctor will give a prescription to a girl. But I don't know. It's probably varies state to state in terms of who has to be involved with, reproductive health decisions. But I imagine that it's really hard in 2018 in America, for anybody, for grown women with children, it's hard for them to get any types of services. So I imagine for girls, it would be very, very, very difficult. These are the days and times of Frankenstein, for real. Um, so that's is by prescription. Okay, so that's the Zimbabwe. That's what's going on a little bit in Zimbabwe. Germany building explosion injures 25. So, prayers out to the 25 folks who were injured, to their families and communities. I don't know what's going on in Germany. Why the buildings explode? What happened? Huh? Okay. Debbie Africa. Now y'all know the move. These are move people because they use that last name Africa. Like some of the black Muslims use X, these folks use Africa. So Debbie Africa, member of Philadelphia's Move 9, freed from prison after 4 decades. I hope Mugabe runs again if they're running elections in Zimbabwe. Philly in the Philly. So the Move Nine, I guess, were people who, that sounds like a group of people who were imprisoned, who felt that they were political prisoners, who were supported and identified as political prisoners, because usually that's the, the Move Nine or whatever. That's the, so I don't know, I don't know what the story is in terms of who Debbie Africa is, but they bombed those poor people. Yes, they did. And it was some bullshit, but it was very educational to me because I feel like it was only a few adults and a bunch of kids, or a few adults and a few children, and they used all of those resources because those people were trying to live a free life in the way that they defined it. Like they, like, and you gonna bomb them? That like show to me, that's like a reflection of like your fear and anxiety and the power of a few people. I might look at them and be like, that wasn't even 20 people, but to them it was worth the, so that lets you know that keep doing what you're doing because you make a difference. Your contribution matters. So yay for Debbie Africa, and prayers out to all of the rest of the Philly Move Nine. May all political prisoners be free. It was a mini Black Wall Street. Their movement could have saved the Black folk in Philly. Our people are lost here. Wow. Oh yeah, this nasty government bombed our Move family, bombed folks in the middle of a metropolitan city, bombed folks. And it was like, not just like, it was a combination, the way I understand it, state government and like a multi governmental attack. That says something to me. Ukraine Roma camp attack leaves one dead. So the Roma are like, I guess, what we would have historically called gypsies. I think that's what that community is. But the article was basically saying that minorities all over Europe are being attacked and stuff like that. So I guess the stuff that some people would say that they're seeing here, people are saying that they're seeing all over the world. Bristol's new Lord Mayor simply couldn't stand portrait of infamous slave trader above her desk, so she had it removed. I don't know what Bristol is. Maybe someplace in Britain, in England. I don't know who the Bristol. What's a new Lord Mayor? But anyway, she had a slave portrait, bombed them like it was Vietnam, right? She had a portrait of a trader, an enslaver, a monster above her desk when she got elected, and she had it moved. A hospital in Britain will treat you for crypto addiction. So like this cryptocurrency stuff, I guess they think people are out here getting addicted to the cryptocurrency, to trading and stuff. Is it like gambling? Is it like hoarding or collecting? What? I don't know nothing about no cryptocurrency, but I'm like, okay. 10 super dope Black superheroes you should know other than Black Panther. Do I know any Black superheroes? I'm not really into all of that superhero stuff, so I don't know. Do I know any Blacks? Luke Cage, I guess he's supposed to be a Black superhero, but I only watched one episode, so I can't say that I know him, but I have heard of him. So I guess, yeah, if you know of any Black superheroes, shout them out. Throw some names out there, drop them in the comments. Let's talk about Black superheroes. I think, and I love the idea of Black folks being superheroes, like that super melanin power. You're my hero, Black folks. You my hero, my superhero. DARPA found a way to reinvent the wheel. DARPA found a way to reinvent the wheel. So I guess this wheel is supposed to be like able to go over tough terrain without breaking or something. I don't remember why I put this article, but they say you can't reinvent the wheel. So maybe that's why I put it like, oh, they found a way to reinvent the wheel. Okay. Mali Fula villagers were killed in cold blood. I don't know what that is. Maybe Fula is a village in Mali, and they're saying that these people were killed in cold blood. Those Brits use all sorts of names to make themselves important. Lord this and Knight that, and they ain't shiz. Meet the 10-year-old DJ taking gun. Oh, I want to look at this story, so let's look at this one first. Okay, yeah, so it's in the country of Mali. Um, Traditional hunters have near central Mali, a local group says. The hunters known locally as Brown Mopti region and separated members of the Fula ethnic group from other villagers before killing them. Children were among the victims in Saturday's attack, says officials. So prayers out to community and to those people who lost their life and who witnessed this situation. And may they be greeted and welcomed by the ancestors. There has been an increasing violence between Fula, who are traditionally herders, and other ethnic groups. But 2 others are still in prison. 2 others or 8 others? I thought it was the Philly Move 9. Have the other rest been released already for the Philly Move? Fula is in local Mali. A further 10 people were missing from the village near the town of Djenne, said Abel Aziz Diallo, president of Tabakau Pulaku. Why? What was the sorry ass reason for the slaughter? I claim that I am from the Fula people. Ooh, Fula. I'm not seeing anything. It just sounds like sort of ethnic type conflict if they're separating the people out by ethnicity. And I shouldn't say just because I don't really know the context. They surrounded the village, separated the Fula people from the others, and killed at least 32 civilians in cold blood, he told AFP news agency. The Fula complained that they are being regularly targeted by had similar charges, and they state that the 3 should have been released. They are being targeted. This is the Philly Move story. So there were 3 women, 2 had similar three had similar charges. 1 was released and 2 still are in prison. The Fula complained that they are being regularly targeted by traditional hunters in the name of the fight against jihadists. They accused the Malian military of supporting such incidents. The Malian army has also been accused by rights groups of carrying out extrajudicial killings in the central region. The army says these were operations against militants. On Thursday, the U.S. asked Mali to investigate after 25 bodies were found in mass graves in the Mopti region. The Malian government admitted elements of the army were involved. Smells like Prince William's decree is in full effect. Depopulation in Africa. Oh, wow. I've never heard of Prince William's decree. That's a new term for me. Okay. Dang, I clicked on. I did. Un momento, por favor. Oh, this was gonna be the baby. I want to see the. Okay, so again, prayers out, to all of us. Let's fight evil and leave people alone. Unless they're evil, I guess. So this is Meet the 10-year-old DJ taking Ghana by storm. A 10-year-old DJ. This the little girl. I think she kind of looks like me when I saw that picture. Oh, shoot, it just clicked off. DJ Switch, her name is DJ Switch. Switch is no ordinary schoolgirl. BBC's Africa. What? I wonder if that's like, if the DJ still make that kind of noise. Yay, DJ Switch. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Yay, DJ Switch. Congratulations, little girl. Mama DJ Switch. Oh my gosh, I just did it again. It's like a conspiracy. The Illuminati has controlled my hands and I keep messing up. Little chocolate DJ, I know. And a little girl at that. And she 10. Oops, I did it. Oops, I did it again. Isn't that some the little girl in the little schoolgirl skirt or something? That's one of their numbers. The Illuminati. They got me. You got to put a cross on Britney Spears. I got to put a cross on my forehead, and then maybe they recruit me. Somebody was saying that. Some video I saw. I'm like, what in the obituary? Suman Verk, the mother who forgave her daughter's killer. I don't know what that story is, but prayers out to those people. How many words do you need to speak? How many words do you need to speak a language? Is it 500, 7,000, 50,000? How many words do you need to speak a language? Isn't it some commercial like how many licks till you get to the center of a Dove bar or something? It's something like that. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. We'll see. Kenya's contaminated sugar roll, what we know. So Kenya has some sugar, some refined white sugar, I guess it's been contaminated. Contaminated by what? I don't know. Center of a Tootsie Roll Pop. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? I don't know. 3. You lick 3 and then you bite, or it only take 3. That was how many words do you have to learn in a language? They still couldn't seem to retain more than 500 words. I was hoping you could give me a shortcut by working out how many words we actually use on a regular basis. To work out how many words you need to know to be able to speak a second language, we decided to look into how many words we know in our first language, in our case, English. We consider dusting off the dictionary and going from A to Z. However, there are an estimated 171,146 words currently in use in the English language. Wow, that's a lot. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, not to mention 47,156 obsolete words. Right, refined white sugar is already a contaminant. Can you contaminate the contamination? That's a good point. The poison is poisoned. Somebody poisoned the poison, or did it just happen because it's poison? I don't know if it's refined white sugar. They just said sugar, so I figured it was refined white sugar. To quote a well-known internet meme, ain't nobody got time for that. What we needed was a mathematical cheat. Fortunately, for someone beat us to it. Linguists Paul Nation and John Reed, who doesn't love a bit of nominative determinism. Oh, his name is John Reed, like words and stuff. And he's a linguist. Along with their colleague Robin Guten, came up with a test involving only 50 words. Their theory is that you can count up how many of the 50 words you understand and multiply that total by 500. You're able to understand your total English vocabulary. Words start off simply enough: dog, editor, immense, but they quickly become more obscure. For example, would you know how to use oleaginous? No, I never even heard it. Or cow sucker in a sentence? No, absolutely not. Hint, the latter doesn't have anything to do with cows or sucking. And now Paul's free English vocabulary size test using only 100 words is available online. So how many words do we know? Stuart Webb, professor of applied linguistics at the University of Western Ontario, has studied the process of learning vocabulary, or to give it a sexier name, language acquisition. He discovered that it's incredibly difficult for a language learner to ever know how many words, as many words as a native speaker. Oh, like if you're learning a language, you're just not going to know as many as the people who are native to that language. Typical native speakers know 15,000 to 20,000 word families language. What's a word family? Like give, giving, give, gave. I mean, word family / lemma is a root word and all its inflections. For example, run, running, ran, blue, bluer, bluish, bluish, etc. Okay, that makes sense. So to someone who can hold a decent conversation in a second language, know 15,000 to 20,000 words, is this a realistic goal for our listener to aim for? Unlikely. Professor Webb found that people who have been studying a language in a traditional setting, say French in Britain or English in Japan, often struggle to learn more than 2,000 to 3,000 words, even after years of study. In fact, a study in Taiwan showed that after 9 years of learning a foreign language, half of the students failed to learn the most frequently used 1,000 words. And that is the key, the frequency with which the words you use appear in day-to-day use in the language you're learning. You don't need to know all the words in a language. For example, it seems unlikely that anyone reading this has suffered from knowing that ZYZZYVA, ZZVA, is a kind of tropical weevil and not a Spice Girls lyric. So, which words should we learn? Professor Webb said the most effective way to be able to speak a language quickly is to pick up 800 to 1,000 lemmas, which appear most frequently in a language, and learn those. If you only learn 800 of the most frequently used lemmas in English, you'd be able to understand 75% of the language as it's spoken in normal life. Why? Okay. 1,000 words with the same meaning. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Um, so we don't know. I didn't look into the contaminated sugar, but yeah, who cares about sugar? F sugar. Fans trash Rashida amid rumor Kirk Frost cheated again. French jogger detained after crossing U.S. Canada border. Now this child looked kind of she looked kind of brownish. She didn't look black, but she looked brown. You know, I don't know, but why she was detained, I think, for 2 weeks. And she said she didn't know that she had crossed the border. She was like out jogging. Explosion targets Zimbabwe president. That's what this headline said. So no mention of the election. That was my theory. I'm like, I think this is the first time I've seen any mention of the election. Protesters temporarily blocked a bus carrying immigrants from a border patrol facility in Texas. They moving people under the nighttime. Why you do stuff in the nighttime? Because that's just when you have a chance, or because you're doing something secretive. Meet the teacher who wears a school uniform. This was someone in, like, I don't know, he sort of looked West Africanish to me, but he looked, I think this was somewhere in that in Alkebalan. Vatican, so I don't know why he wears a school uniform, maybe as an identification process with the students. Vatican ex-diplomat sentenced to 5 years on child pornography charges. I mean, these Catholic Vatican, they got it's like it's a special, is it like an extra special proclivity to like children, having sex with children, pedophilia? Is it like highly concentrated there, or is it we just what's the deal with that? What a one, what a one. World's tiniest computer makes a grain of rice seem massive. Now this was really interesting to see visually because the grain of rice really did look massive next to, I guess, the tiny computer. Let's see if we can get it up. Ex-priests who abused children allowed to access Chicago public schools. So he was running a nonprofit. He can't really see the you see it. That's a grain of rice, and that's the little bitty tiny computer. So this priest was he was, I guess, priesting. He got kicked out of his priestly job, I think, for molesting children, but he was also running a nonprofit that serviced young people in Chicago, like in Chicago public schools. In the Chicago public schools, they say that would be about white. This is a regular occurrence for the Vatican. In the Chicago public schools, I think it wasn't like any private thing that he had gotten fired for that or let go of from the Catholic Church, but they just kept letting them come in. They get energy from the kids, still their innocence. Yeah. Cisco is buying a startup that uses Wi-Fi to gather data from people as they move around malls and airports. So I guess they already track us digitally as we move around in the digital world, they're tracking us. So I guess this is just like a reflection of them increasing their tracking of us in the real world. So yeah, that's what's going on. So they want to see, when you get to the mall, would you go right to the food court? Do you shop around and then go to the food court? Do you ignore the food court? When you stay in a store, how long do you stay? If like, they want to know what's going on so they can sell you more stuff, I guess. The esports competitive video gaming market continues to grow continues to grow revenues and attract investors. So it's like all of a sudden I'm just hearing about these esports over the last month and how lucrative they are and how much money people are making and how much money is in the esports. Not that I'm going to start being an esport person. I just think it's interesting. Saudi Arabia's ban on women driving officially ends. So what I want to know is, why were women banned from driving? what was the rationale? It seems like it's like, to me, like, not knowing anything, not having any cultural context, like it design seems like it's designed to like control and infant, like make women like children. But maybe there's something that I'm missing. Yeah, I don't. Mm-mm. So I guess it's good. Driving equals freedom. Their women are considered free property. Um, Basic income could work if it's done Canadian style. Now, y'all know I'm fascinated by this whole basic income conversation throughout the world. Um, we're gonna talk. They seem like they the biggest violator of human rights, at least from my perspective as a black person in this country. Now, I don't know, maybe somebody else is a bigger violator, but I'm just saying, who are you to be talking about trying to check somebody on violating human rights when you out here, one of the biggest violators, colonizers, imperialists. Wow, women can drive now. Women were required to be out with men in public, and driving wasn't allowed for women because she's considered in control. Yeah, it's been like this new administration has done it, but they say that they clamped down on there was a whole some activists organized this, bringing attention to the fact that women in Saudi Arabia weren't driving. I remember maybe about 2 or 3 or 4 years ago seeing on Twitter videos and tweets about women who were like going against the ban and driving and uploading their videos to Twitter, like bringing attention to other people in the world, because I didn't know anything about it, but that's the first I started hearing about it. And so those activists, they say that they have really clamped down on those activists. This headline didn't say it, but the last headline we saw spoke about that. That the people who the women who did a lot of the work to bring attention and help to change it, they like put them in check. Who gonna check me, boo? We gonna check you, boo. Um, yeah, I prefer not driving, but if I want to drive, I want to drive. I don't really care to drive, but if I want to drive, I want to drive. I guess I just don't appreciate somebody telling me what I can and cannot do. What I prefer to do is something totally different to me. Maybe I just have like the wrong attitude. Basic income could work if it's done Canadian style. Basic income functions differently for different people. For some, it's fuel for cultural development. For others, it's a food subsidy or an educational grant. For others, it's a small business. About 4,000 people in Ontario, Canada, are getting monthly stipends to boost them to at least 75% of the poverty line. The 3-year trial funded by the provincial government is one of the world's biggest tests of guaranteed basic income. Although it serves as an example for the US, skeptics say it wouldn't work in the US. Canada does much more to strengthen its safety net and reduce inequality, such as providing universal health care and funding schools by province level. When I saw that, I was thinking, yeah, why are our schools funded, like, or were they funded? Because I guess public schools really in a sort of kind of way don't exist anymore. But the idea of like the property taxes funding the school seems very unequal. It seems like they should have taxed people for their property taxes, put everything in a pot, and then distributed, the same amount to each student. Because it seemed like that's obvious. Rich students are gonna there if your parent, like, it just seems weird. Like, I mean, it just seems so obvious. So basically, basic income is where instead of them saying we'll give you $30 a week for food, we'll give you, if you come here for health insurance, you come here for food, you can get this program here, you can get this program there. There's like all kinds of experiments where they just give people a flat amount of money. You get $1,000 a month, and whatever you do with it is your business. We not tracking you, it's on you, whatever you do with it. And in some, societies, it's based on if you're, like in the Canadian situation where they're trying it now, is like they're trying to bring people up to 75% of the poverty level. So you have to be like basically below the poverty level in order to qualify for it. But people talk about the relief of being able to buy fresh fruits and vegetables, just things that you might put off because you're struggling, or because you're concerned about money. People kind of talk about, what that has meant to them. Where they do that, like a free $1,000 per month, right? They do. It's all, if you Google it, basic income all over the world. It's not always 1,000. Sometimes it might be 300, 500, whatever. And they've done it in like African contexts as well. Like the idea is to allow people to make decisions about what they want to do with their money instead of the government trying to micromanage every single little thing that they do. And they say that the theory is that when people have the freedom, that they make good choices. Like there's this idea that poor people, like we get some money and we go out and we get drunk and get high. Like I don't know where that, like I guess that's just propaganda, because it's not, I don't really think it's like a real thing. Because remember the person who was talking about drug testing people, his weed or his coke or whatever fell out of his pocket. I guess that's them projecting what they do. But study after study with this basic income is finding that when people have a basic income, when they're in control, they're making good choices, and they know you have a better idea on your personal life what you need to do to get to the next level than some administration or some bureaucrat trying to control what you're doing. So there I've been following and kind of trying to pay attention to, like, there's a woman are paid if they decide to stay home with their newborn for 1 year. That's an example of it. um they're in dang, I forgot. So yeah, there's I've been in California. I was gonna say there's like a black man who's like mayor of some town, and he's doing a basic income experiment, except for that he raised the money with like a GoFundMe type account. So the money is not coming from the municipality. The money came from like people like me who's like, here's $20. Let's see how it works. But people are mad at him. Like some people are really mad at him, like, you can't be using our money that way. So I don't know if he's gonna last, or if his experiment is gonna last, or what. And there's like, it's like taking that, like they say that the money that it costs is way cheaper than when people put off healthcare, when people aren't eating well, when people, the decisions that you make when you're poor, they become crisis decisions because you're not able to take care of things because you don't have the financial resources. And then by the time you present yourself to your government, what could have been like a small issue has become a bigger issue. So it becomes way more expensive than just allowing people to deal with it locally in their own thing, in their own situation. So anyway, I love a basic income story. That one was coming off of Google feed proxy. UN expert slams US on poverty, quitting global rights body. Oh, we talked about that already. Bye. Inside one of the busiest US immigration courts, judges are pressured, mad at the mayor. I thought they gave the money knowing how it was going to be used for. Right. But see, there are people who are like, I'm mad at you for using our money, our tax dollars to do this basic income stuff. But he's not using tax dollars to do the basic income. He did a GoFundMe. So it's anybody who wants ever. It might not have been GoFundMe, but he raised money outside of, the municipality. But people, just the idea of it, like some people have so much hostility toward poor people in poverty and are so invested in being mad at people who are poor financially that it's like like I read that article. It seemed like it was maybe like 6 or 7 months ago. I was reading about him. I can't remember his name. He looked a little bit like on the dumpier side to me, for whatever it's worth. Like I was trying to pull up an image of him. And I can't remember what community it was in, but it was in California, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Google basic income. I think it's oh well. Anyway. I know I feel self-conscious when I look at stuff in the stream that I type, but when I'm looking at yours, I'm like, don't nobody care about that, girl, please. But I feel self-conscious sometimes too, like, oh my God, I can't believe I typed a typo. What will the people think? How will I go on? Then I just go on. Did I say something anti-Illuminati again? Okay. UN. Oh, we talked about that. Inside one of, oh, we talked about that. Oh, judges are pressured to meet quotas for fear of losing their jobs. So I guess these are the judges that don't have lifetime appointments. So they like, look, you better imprison and deport so many of these people, or else you're gonna lose your job. So they like feel under pressure. And these are, you figure if you a judge, you relatively, you figure the pressure is for the poor people and the black people or whatever, but even they feeling the pressure from zero and the 1% or whatever. Studies suggest white people are more likely to assault black Latino people than the other way around. So the white people are out here acting like they so scared of black and Latino people because they're projecting, because they know that they're aggressive and out here attacking black and brown people. They better get to deporting, but you better get to deporting, or you gonna lose your job. Is your job important? Well, get to deporting. That's what they saying to them. You best to get to it quick, with the quickness. I don't want no lip. So anyway, they say the study suggests. So maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. What do I think? I don't know. Marine plastic, hundreds of fragments in dead seabirds. This whole conversation about plastic, and how it's just, plastic is like evil. I think sugar is like up there on like the list of evil, but plastic, I think it may be. I used to think that sugar was like the most evil, but plastic may be. I don't know. I'm just beginning to process. So they find in the dead sea birds, and they just full of plastic, little tiny itty bitty fragments of plastic. Ethiopia, one dead and dozens hurt in grenade attack at pro prime minister rally. So there continues to be conflict and stuff. We were talking about Ethiopia and Eritrea yesterday, or the other day. We missed yesterday. Hey, I missed you yesterday. But the other day we were talking about it. So it continues to be like strife. So prayers out to the person who made their prayers out to the person who made their transition and the people who are hurt. The DuPont family. Interesting. I bet you they fund a lot of the research on plastics and all of that kind of stuff, do they? I wonder. That's what I would think. A famous scientist warned Congress, bloodlines. Yeah. A famous scientist warned Congress about climate change exactly 30 years ago today. James Hansen wishes that he'd been wrong. He said to him, "It's some some changes is coming." I wish now 30 years later, he like, I told you, I wish I was wrong, but I told you 30 years ago. Crude oil pours from river from derailed train in U.S. Ooh, that photograph. It was like the train was like zigzagging and the oil and the water. It was a mess. It looked a mess. An embattled Mayo startup is slamming company's products. I was kind of confused by this because I thought that Jaden Smith's line was just water or something. And I thought he was mad at just Mayo for changing their stuff to be just whatever. Like they were like trying to encroach on his brand. You'll never hear much about them. They're making too much money. No need to talk. They're only in the news when one of their nuts goes nuts. Yeah. But then this headline makes it seem the other way around, like they're mad at Jaden Smith. I don't know. I got enough. Hey, Frank G, how are you? China hosts its first China-African Defense and Security Forum as the Asian nation flexes its muscles on the continent. I'm glad you're good. Good to see you. Yeah, that's what's going on with we've been talking about China and Asia on the continent of Al-Kibalan. They're hosting a forum. They flexing their muscles. They showing we the new colonizers in town. We the head colonizers in town, I guess. I don't know. Defense and Security Forum. Lord, just give us free. Help us to be free. Give us the insight and the wisdom to fight, and to fight effectively and productively. Help us to know what to do, for our personal freedom, our family freedom, our community freedom, and our people's freedom. Zimbabwe president in Gagwa, M. Nangawa survives Bulawayo explosion. So yeah, they didn't say anything about elections coming up in that headline either, but the president survived. We talk about it. America separated black families too through slavery and mass incarceration. And I just wanted to also mention the foster care system, the mass incarceration. That this headline says America separated with a D at the end, like separated as in past tense, as in it's not going on. But I just want to acknowledge that we continue to be our family structure, the sanctity of our bonds with one another, the sanctity of our life. I like that language. I got that from the Funky Academic. I think he was talking about, the sanctity of our relationships not being honored. And it mirrors one of my favorite poems, Poem About My Rights by June Jordan. But she talks about the sanctity of our heroes, the sanctity of our borders, the sanctity of our bodies, the sanctity of our vaginas. So there's no, honor or respect of, the sanctity of our familial bonds. Like, that's your baby. I don't care. And I think about, this foster care system, as we're watching some of this stuff unfold with well, the poster children are like Latino or whatever, but as we're watching it unfold, it's kind of like I guess I did consciously know that children were ripped from that black children were ripped from black mothers. People who are in jail, their children, if you're a mother who has a baby in jail, your child is taken from you, I believe, for the most part. Like, it's not like it's an old something that happened in the past. It's an ongoing practice, the foster care system. But I was thinking about that little baby, that little boy Devante and his brothers and sisters who were adopted by the white lesbian family. And I'm not thinking about them specifically, although I am, prayers out to them and their spirit. But I'm also thinking about them in terms of what they represent collectively, and the idea that those children were adopted out. I think they were adopted out of state by those white people. They had an aunt in state who wanted to foster them, who wanted to adopt them. The reason that they gave for taking the children away from the aunt is because the aunt's daughter had let the children see their mother. And every time I think about that, that just really, really pisses me off, and it's really distressing. Did that lesbian couple die too? I think they rode off the off of a they rode their car rode went off of a like into a river, like, or into a body of water, and they were killed. I think they had been drugged before, or had drugs in their system. And I think they found 3 of the 6 children or 3 of the 5 children or something like that. But the last I heard, all of the children's bodies hadn't been recovered. So it's not clear to me that all of the children were in the car. They say that the way that it was, the children could have floated away. But we're still dealing with that. The sanctity of our bonds with one another and to one another, are not honored by this system. And I feel like, we have to honor them. We have to value them. We have to, fight for our relationships with one another. We have to fight for that. It's important. And I feel like, I don't think that we should have less empathy for other people who are experiencing the type of effed up stuff that we've experienced. But I think that we should also continue to frame our experience in the context of like truth. Like, the foster care system is some BS, and it's known. It's like commonly known. I didn't think about it, but my mother was like, well, it's commonly known that people get abused and molested and dogged out in foster care. So why are we letting this system is not for us. This system is against us and attempting to break us down and demoralize us and destroy us, turn after turn after turn after turn. And we have to call a thing, and we have to fight, continue to fight, for ourselves and for each other. Because if not us, who? If not if not now, when? That's what we got to do. Netflix fires top PR exec for using the N-word during a meeting. We never get any sympathy for anyone. Yeah, but we have to have, I don't know about that, whatever, but I know we have to have empathy and sympathy for ourselves. We have to be fighting for us. Because I do feel like if we don't fight for us, who gonna fight for us? We gotta fight for us. So I don't know what's up. Who the in the way the headline is written, it says Netflix fires in all caps. Ever attempt to say that honor the bond between mother and child, you got to get running the other way. Some kind of devious trick and debauchery. If they ever say they honor the bond between mother and child, you know it's some trick and some BS. Yeah. They say Netflix fires in all caps top PR exec for using the N word during a meeting. These people are just out here wilding out. They just out here, doing the most, testing their limits. Do you know that you have to get custody of your own child? I didn't know that. What does that mean? A World Cup match was the most watched Spanish live stream ever. So this World Cup, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. It was the most watched live stream ever. So that's pretty, that's pretty interesting and exciting. Otherwise, they belong to the state, which is why they can come and get your child. So you're saying if you get custody of your child, then the state can't come get your child? Is that what you're saying? Because I feel like the state, the laws, the states, they don't honor the people. They do what they want to do. Their rules are not, do they follow their rules when it comes to us, or do they do what they want to do? It's harder for them to get your child without going through the courts. Yeah, I feel like they do what they want to do, and then they say, "Who gonna check me, boo?" And you like, "I'm gonna sue. I'm gonna sue." And meanwhile, where's your child? What's going on? Now, maybe that's like negative. I don't know, but that's how it looks to me. But I'm willing to see it another way. I don't trust their laws. I don't trust them. I don't feel like if I follow their rules or if I do X, Y, and Z follow in their system that it means anything. Because I feel like their system is designed strictly to hold me down. It's not about elevating me. I feel like you can temporarily, work sometimes in certain situations, like in the cracks of the system or whatever. But I feel like as a people-wide strategy, I don't really feel like I don't believe it, But that's just me. That's just me. Habaragani, Ujamaa. When one of us benefit, we all benefit. So we should petition the court for custody of the children birthed into this world. We birthed into this world through the court system. File for physical and legal custody. A family court lawyer told me this. All right. Well, there you have it. That's it for my for what I had on my news feed. So today is the best day ever. Since we're here and I have a little bit of time according to the time that I've been here, even though it's looking really shaky in terms of other stuff I'm trying to do. I'm going to talk about Alkebulan. Let's see which. Did we do Gabon? The Gabon Viper. Did we do Gabon? I guess I'm going to look at Gabon because if we did Gabon, I sure don't remember it. So we're going to look at Gabon, okay? Alkebulan. 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 Gabon, Gabon, Gabon. I have to come out and I'm just going to Google. I'm going to come out and Google it because we've determined that site that I was on was kind of like, so we're going to use Wikipedia. A good, safe research, reliable research site. I think we did talk about Gabon. So, but I don't remember. So I guess we're going to go over it again if we did already. So this is the flag. 3 colors, green on the top, yellow in the middle, and blue on the bottom. I don't know why it says DRC. Let me go into Gabon and see if that's actually Libreville. Yeah, I think we looked at this already. But it's been so long. Gabon is a sovereign state on the west coast of Central Africa, located on the equator. Gabon is bordered by Equatorial Guinea to the northwest, Cameroon to the north, the Republic of the Congo. We did Gabon. Hey, Hey, Day Day. Okay. It's dark. It's still light bright in Detroit. Yeah, it's still like bright in Detroit. Oh, you can see the sun behind me. Yeah, you can see the lightness. I don't know why it's dark in New York. It's 9 o'clock. Oh, because it's 9 o'clock. That's why it's dark. I don't know why it's so light here. But in the summertime, you know, I guess, yeah, that's interesting because I would think by 9 it would be dark. And as a matter of fact, when I came out, I'm like, oh, it's so late. It's going to be dark. I'm going to have to turn my light on. I don't know how I'm going to have my light on. And, I had all of these thoughts. But my neighbor, I did a live Saturday night. I was halfway hoping you'd come through. Oh, I didn't know. I've been so like in my personal life that I haven't even been online. Okay, well, I have to try to keep my eyes open for your lives because I actually think that the lives are like pretty interesting. The lives are all the way live. Um, okay, Gambia, Gambia, Gambia. Okay, let's see. Let us see. Oh, Gambia news. We should look at that. What's going on in Gambia? The Gambia. The officially the Republic of Gambia is a country in West Africa that is entirely surrounded by Senegal. Hey, gonna gear up for cussing and cocktails. Who's doing cussing and cocktails? You doing it love like the sun? Oh, I gotta get a good virgin cocktail. Did you hear about the giraffes? No, I didn't hear about the giraffes. So the flag of Gambia is red at the top, blue in the middle, and green in the center, but it's got white in between each of the colors. Isn't that interesting? The Gambia is a small West African country bounded by Senegal with a narrow Atlantic coastline. It's known for its diverse ecosystems around the central Gambia River, abundant wildlife. In its Kiang West National Park in Boa Balong Wetland Reserve includes monkeys, leopards, hippos, hyenas, and rare birds. The capital, Banjul, and nearby Serakunda offer access to beaches. Oh, we love a beach. We love a beach. We love beaches. We love a beach. I love a beach. Okay. So news for Gambia. Gambian president pays tribute to 3 civilians killed by police at anti-pollution protests. That was 2 days ago. Gambia leader meets victim's family after deadly protest. That was 2 days ago. Can cause Barrow to resign if something. That was 2 days ago. Oh, visit the Gambia. Holiday tourism information. I should probably be getting like the facts, but oh, look at that, one of my cousins. It's only 6 hours flight from major European destinations with no jet lag. The Gambia is a popular and affordable all year round destination. I'm in your what? Get out of here. Oh my God. Hey, cuz. Hey. All right. I guess we're going to have to come back to the Gambia. Okay, let me hurry up and do the Gambia. I'll come in a minute, cuz. I'll come in a minute. I didn't see you come. Here I come. Hold on. Popular and affordable all year round destination attracting tourists in search of sun, sand, sea, nature, and varied cultural experience, all of which this unique country has plenty. Love it. Oh, dang. I don't want to start and not finish because then I'll be like, did I do the Gambia or not do the Gambia? So let's see what Wikipedia says. Dang, it's still only an hour and 9 minutes. I figure if I can do it in 120 that I can't not do it. And I thought I was going to do Al-Kibalan, something from Al-Kibalan every day. And y'all see, it's just like on the weekend. It's time is something. Time is something. Oh, listen, we get to listen to, oh, wait, let's see. You can do it. Yes, yeah, Gambia. Oh, now we know how to pronounce it. Gambia. What was I saying? Gam. Like Pambia. Gambia. Gambia. Okay. Okay. It doesn't take that long. It's a country in West Africa that is almost entirely surrounded by Senegal, with the exception of its western coastline along the Atlantic Ocean. It is the smallest country within mainland Africa. So remember, we've been talking about Alkebulan trivia. What's the smallest country within mainland Alkebulan? The Gambia. How do you pronounce Gambia? Gambia, like Pambia. We gonna learn. We gonna learn one day. Let's hear the song. Does it sound European? The largest city is Serekunda. The official language is English. What time it come on? What time does what come on? Potomac? I'm probably gonna miss Potomac tonight. I'll probably have to catch it another day. Oh no. Yeah, it sounds European. I know every song we played is like, what's up with that? Okay, so the national languages are Mandinka, Fula. Hey, we were just talking about the Fula earlier. Wolof, Serer, and Jola. I never heard of Jola. Well, I don't know. Okay. Ethnic groups, the Mandinka are 34.4%. The Fula are 24.1%. The Wolof are 14.8%. Jola are 10.5%. The Sarahuli. Hey, Anthony Galloway, thank you. You're awesome too. The Sarahuli are 8.2%. The Serer are 3.1%. The Manjango are 1.9%. The Bambara, I like the way that sounds, Bambara are 1.3%. And the Aku Marubu are 0.5%. The Denonim is Gambia. Wolof is a Senegalese language. Yeah, but I think that these lines, like this is Senegal, this is are like artificial. I think people's ethnic groups are way more organic. So I saw that too, because I had a friend who spent time in Senegal and started picking up a little bit of Wolof because she's linguistically oriented. But I was kind of like, oh yeah, so Wolof, it's in other places as well, not just in Senegal. But I'm partial to Senegal because to me it always seemed like the people in Senegal are like a lot of them are very black. Is that wrong? The government, unitary presidential republic. The president is Adama Barrow. The vice president is Fatoumata Tambajang. Freed from the independence from the United Kingdom in 1865, which is in alignment with what I'd expect from an African nation. Drives on the right. So we drive on the right side here. So we'd be right at home. They speak English. You drive on the right side of the street, situated on either side of the Gambia River, the nation's namesake, which flows through the center of Gambia and enters into the Atlantic Ocean. It seems like a very watery place. I love the water. I like to be around the water, see it, smell it. Oh, so the Gambia. I think I'm going to petition to make Africa one country. It's the best thing to do for many reasons. Now that's a whole conversation right there because it's a big continent. Its area is 10,689 square kilometers, 4,127 square. Gambia shares historical roots with many other West African nations in the slave trade, which was the key factor in placing and keeping of a colony on the Gambia River. Ooh. First by the Portuguese, during which era it was known as Gambia. Later, was made part of the British Empire when the government formally assumed control, establishing the province of Senegambia. Now we've heard of Senegambia. That's where they say most of us are from, Senegambia, Senegal and Gambia. Okay. Entomology. It's derived from the Mandinka term Cambrao, Kamba, meaning Gambia River. History. Arab traders provided the first written accounts of the Gambia area in the 9th and 10th centuries. During Muslim merchants, Senegambian stone circles, megaliths, which run from Senegal through the Gambia and which are described by UNESCO as the largest concentration of stone circles seen anywhere in the world, which is interesting because there's a lot to unpack. which is interesting because isn't there someplace in England where they supposedly have all this stone and it's supposed to be so like what is it called? So I'm like, oh, this I did not know that. Um okay. Portugal. All right. So this is day I'm gonna I'll come back to it when we loop back around because you know this is just like an introductory cursory thing. But my stomach is hungry. And because I'm on a cleanse, I think this is day I started on Thursday. So it would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and today is Sunday. So this is day 4 of my cleanse. So I'm like 1/5 of the way through. I don't know. I'm doing like I think it's like July 14th, 12th, something like that. So yeah. So I'm really hungry and so I need to go eat because I'm on a cleanse. And so I don't like to like, be too hungry when I'm on a cleanse because I'm already on a cleanse. I don't want to be, a desperado and hungry at the same time. Today is the best day ever and you are the greatest. You are the number one stunner. It's on purpose that we are all here together. I appreciate you being here. If you didn't hit the notification bell, the like button, the subscription button on your way in, hit the button on your way out. If you came in late, you can loop back around and watch it from the beginning once it uploads. Anything that you're looking forward to, what you're looking forward to, what's exciting, what's coming up, what's new and good in your life, in your family's life, in your community's life. Share the good news, spread it around. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Spread it. So we about to clock out. So this is the time to say goodbye. I'm about to get the song and pull it up. We'll do a little, before we go. I started reading. I said I wasn't going to start till July 3rd, but I started reading last night, Wild Seed. So we're going to do as a book club for the channel. We're going to do Octavia Butler's Wild Seed. We're going to do chapter by chapter. Probably the week after July 3rd will be the first week that we do the first chapter. So have the first chapter of Octavia Butler's Wild Seed, get reading it. And this is something I don't know if I should tell y'all this or not. And I don't know if it's like a real thing, but I pulled mine off of PDF. Like when I Googled it, it was like a PDF. Life is about enjoying, and you're doing that. Yes, I pulled it off of the internet for free. So I don't know if I'm like undermining the legacy of Octavia Butler or, but I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know. And I've got through chapter 1, so I don't know if it's the whole book. I'm so confused as to why I was able to just snatch it off the internet for free. So, hey, 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 be you, be fabulous, you, be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous. You. Lay them down, girl. Tell them the rules. These are the laws for the summer. Who we gonna be if we are we? Who you gonna be if you ain't you? Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous. You. Peace. Amazon has 3-in-1 book for about $1. So I think that's a trilogy, right? Is Wild Seed a trilogy? It's been like 15, 20, maybe even 25, 30 years since I read it, but I really enjoyed it when I read it. It kind of got on my nerves. Not her, but the characters, or one of the characters. But yeah, so is that the whole trilogy that's on sale for $1? I don't know. I love Octavia Butler. Why can we get her stuff for free? We should be paying like $8 million. All right, that's it. Peace. Look, I'm driving. Y'all still with me. I'm out of here. Love you. Oh, $11, not $1. Okay. Peace and black love, family. Peace and black love.